All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order, and all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, clerk, please call the roll.
All right. President March?
Here.
Trustee Marevka? Here. Trustee Jones?
Here.
Trustee Sluse?
Here.
Trustee Hudson?
Here.
Trustee Bowden?
Here.
And Trustee Sturba?
Here. All right, public comment.
Nancy Cross, and I'm yielding my 3 minutes to Steve.
Steve Cross. I honestly do not want to be here, but I feel I have to speak my piece in regard to the way this village president and village board is wasting taxpayer dollars. Last year, they purchased the property located at 104-106 North 2nd Street, the business formerly known as 2nd Street Saloon, and then paid to have it demolished this year. As part of that demolition, they paid an additional amount, just under $10,000, to relocate a utility pole. Where is that $10,000 pole at today? The last I knew, it was sitting out at the Public Works building. I watched them put that pole up, and then just a few weeks later, I watched them take that pole down. The reason given for putting it up in the first place was that the utility pole supplying the 2nd Street location was also supplying the Corner Cafe restaurant. To be able to demolish the 2nd Street Saloon property, the electric needed to be relocated. The board voted to spend just under $10,000, the total amount was never actually given in the meeting, at the January 24th meeting. What is interesting is that on January the 19th, the Corner Cafe restaurant submitted a building permit application to upgrade their electrical service. This upgrade eliminated the utility pole in question, making the new $10,000 pole completely unnecessary. I spoke with the owner of the Corner Cafe and was told he had this very conversation with our village administrator. But it seems that delaying the demolition by a couple of weeks was not worth $10,000 of taxpayer money. So I watched the $10,000 pole being installed. Then I watched the Corner Cafe perform their electrical upgrade a short time later. Then I watched them come back and take the $10,000 pole down. What a waste. Exactly how much has this village president and village board spent on purchasing this property, paying back taxes, paying for the necessary utility pole demolition, man hours by a public works department, and legal fees? I have it on good authority when you tally it up. We're in the neighborhood of $100,000. $5,000 to purchase the property, $38,000 in back taxes, $42,000 demolition and asbestos removal, the $10,000 pole, and thousands of dollars in legal fees and closing costs. What a waste. I have heard the village president state in the past that this lot would be sold for a future or existing business to use. But now on tonight's agenda, this village president and board is considering sinking up to another $25,000 into this eyesore of their own creation. Pretty does not pay the bills. Why isn't this property actively listed? No matter what, you are never going to recoup $100,000 that you have put into this property already. When the village board voted to sell the water and sewer utility to Aqua in 2018, the plan was to form a strategic partnership with Aqua for upgrade and expansion of our system to facilitate economic development. The $12.3 million that was to be invested, with the interest being used for the general fund. If there was an opportunity to invest some of that money in an economic development project, one that would generate some income for the village, then it would be considered an appropriate use of the funds. There was always a concern that future boards may not adhere to that philosophy. I didn't expect that to become an issue so soon with members of that 2018 board still in office. I hear this board talk about self-financing projects such as the Railroad Street parking lot and the elaborate downtown streetscape. I understand some of these dollars are coming from the Business Development District Fund and TIF, and also the hopeful grants, but these funds are limited. Every time you hear general fund money being spent on a project like this, that is the Aqua money being spent out of savings with no guarantee it will ever be replaced. This vacant lot pocket park and elaborate downtown streetscape are not going to generate any new sales tax. I have not seen or heard of any new economic development projects besides the Travel Center and Hotel, which was started when I was village president and Greg Spathis was the village administrator. My personal feeling is that I do not trust this village president, this village administrator, and the majority of this village board. This village president and village board has made it increasingly difficult for residents to express their opinion and reserves the right not to answer a question when it's asked of them. They eliminated the monthly committee of the whole meeting, which I put into place in 2005, that was designed to set aside an hour every month for residents to express their thoughts and concerns or ask a question of the board. They have moved the 2 monthly meetings to 6 p.m., making it very difficult for many to attend in person. It seems like we're all supposed to sit back and let them do whatever they want and like it. I don't like it at all. Trustee Sturba, I sincerely hope you continue to become more vocal and protect the best interests of the residents of this community. Trustee Marevka, please open your eyes to what's happening around you. Just because the village president wants to spend a bunch of money to make something pretty, it doesn't necessarily make it a good idea. You can always tell him no. Trustee Hudson, I had high expectations when you were appointed to this board. I'm still hopeful. For the other three trustees sitting at the table, I believe your seats are all up for election next year. There will be 3 4-year terms and 1 2-year term on the ballot. It is my fervent hope that we can find 3 new candidates to run for the 4-year terms, and if necessary, a 4th to run for the 2-year term. We need to bring some common sense back to the table, especially when I look at the last 5-year plan this board adopted, and it includes a possible $5 million for a new village hall in 3 years. Add that to the $6.5 million streetscape, and there goes $12 million. Scares the living daylights out of me.
Any other public comment?
I guess I'm next. Hi, my name is Nancy Swire. I live on Hans Brinker, over by the pond. I'm sure you know where I'm at. I agree with everything this man just said. I really don't need to say anything else because he set it off for me. I saw that you were spending $6,500 on trees that will go in a lot that may be torn down. Where are those trees gonna go? Are you gonna dig them up? They're temporary, right? Correct? Or are they, I
It
don't
wasn't
know,
$6,500 on trees.
$6,500. It was in
That was
the
for,
debt.
that was for a paver, that was for the pathway, and the other landscaping wasn't just for the 3 trees.
Well, regardless.
2010.
And what,
Three trees,
$1,000 for a
15 trees.
bench?
Hold on, when you said 6,000 for trees, it's $2,000.
Okay, well, I saw 6,500. Regardless, anyway, I appreciate what Mr. Cross just said. Okay, my other issue is the mill. That mill could use some of your money if you'd like to help it out. You got it on the wall behind there. It's the symbol of the village. You got it on the sticker. You got it on the police car. But it's falling apart. What are we gonna do about that? I'm not real good at speaking, so bear with me. Are we gonna do anything with the mill? We're gonna let it fall into a pile of sticks? Because then you're going to take that little sticker down. So could you, somebody take it under your wing and help? There's a volunteer who goes there by herself and weed whacks. People are leaving beer cans there. Read the community site. You'll see what's going on. Okay, my next issue. The street on Hans Brinker. There are 3 sewers that are sinking with open holes. I can't believe you live on this street and you don't see these things.
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
The village has,
No
limited
money.
funds to fix roads, and, they're
But
on.
we have funds to redo a park that may or may not exist in another year or so. But anyway, so check out those sewers. I know Mr. Public Works over there. I just met him, he'll be over there. The one is, the water is not going down in the sewer, so it goes over on the end of the cul-de-sac where the handicap ramp is at. And that fills with water, and then the handicap and the buggies can't go up there, so That's my message. Did I use all my 3 minutes?
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I got $10 here, just for giggles. I'm guessing that it's gonna pass for the pocket park tonight, just no matter what we say. I think it's a waste of money. 25 grand, you could use it on the mill. If it's a temporary thing, why invest 25 grand on trees and a bench and some pots and a fence in the back? A big waste of money. Put it towards a mill, put it towards something else that's gonna generate some income, some money for the town. So I'll leave that there, see what happens. Coming up here, I know you need to ask direct questions to the board, or you don't really get an answer. Mike, are you gonna paint your building? That's yours to the north of Judy Shear Pleasure? It could be spruced up, that'd help the town look nice.
We have to do a little metal work on the top, that's what I'm waiting for.
All right,
That'll be painted, and then it'll be a $6,000 awning put on there.
all right,
But I can't do any of it till then.
okay. Any time frame on that, or?
Yeah, last fall. I'm ready to go. So
I know there's supply chain issues and
No,
stuff like that, but,
but-
all right, as long as that's gonna happen. Gary, I'm under from Little Bird, I heard that you have the building at, where the Main Street Dance is and the corner coffee place, that's your building?
No, it's not.
No, I stand corrected then, never mind. All right. The mill, so I reached out and talked to Kathleen Tovey, I believe her name is, and she's looking for volunteers. She says the village owns the mill, is that correct?
That's correct.
And we donate a little bit of money each year. Can that 25,000 go towards the mill? Let's do something with it. It's a big historic thing. History's popular in these little towns.
The money that we propose to spend on the park is from Business Development District funds, and the mill is not in the district, so.
Can we do anything with it? More than once a year. September is not enough for something like that to just sit there. Yeah, no? Any ideas?
Somebody's got, it takes volunteers to do that.
Yeah, she says she's got about 5 people
Yeah,
that are underneath her.
I would love for more people to volunteer for that.
What's, Julie, you're on the Chamber of Commerce, right? Does the Chamber of Commerce have any association with the mill?
No,
Can they? I mean, it's part of the town.
they can.
If they can
But-
generate some income or interest to get income, what, here's the board, what can we do? What can we do to help out our businesses, our mill, our whatever, everything here?
I can put it out there.
All right, good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And I didn't talk to Steve or Nancy or the other Nancy, but basically everything he said. Right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Victoria Bullard. I live on West North Street. And I had an incident in my house recently where a stray cat had gotten in my crawl space and used it as a litter box. Now, this wasn't a stray cat. This cat belonged to somebody. And that's a pretty common occurrence. And I understand there is no ordinance as far as cats are concerned. But that would be a good idea because that ran me about $1,700 to get it straightened out. And I see them, they use my garden for a litter box. Something needs to be addressed. So, anyway.
Thank you. Anybody else?
All right, moving on to the consent agenda. So on the consent agenda, we've got the minutes from the June 13th regular board meeting, payroll and accounts payable. The payrolls going through the period ending 6/11/2022 for $51,635.30. And accounts payable through 6/24/2022, general fund $56,449.63. The building permit escrow fund $3,955. The motor fuel tax fund $12,062.50. The business development district fund $1,081.55. The TIF 1 fund, $3,195.18, and the TIF 2 fund, $2,865.31, for a total of $79,609.17. We also have on the consent agenda ordinance 22-12, declaring surplus property and authorizing the disposal of surplus property. That includes some office furniture. It includes some vehicles that the police and public works aren't using anymore. So that is on there. And then resolution 22-R08, authorizing execution of documents as required to designate authorized signatures with the Illinois Funds e-pay program and IND. So as we were going through the audit and trying to get some records from the Illinois Funds program, which we use, it was found out that none of the current officials are designated as signers for that, so we needed to change that. Are there any items that trustees would like to remove from the consent agenda? If not, a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Moved by trustee Jones, seconded by trustee Bowden.
Alright, roll call vote, trustee Jones,
Yes.
trustee Bowden,
Yes.
trustee Maravka,
Yes.
trustee Sluse,
Yes.
trustee Sturba,
Yes.
and trustee Hudson.
Yes.
All right, moving on to staff committee reports. Angie, for Aqua.
Sure. Yeah, I have a couple things for tonight. First, we did begin flushing today. And I apologize, I think there might have been a little bit of miscommunication. We do send out a Swift Reach we're starting northern side of town. We do send out a Swift Reach, which is a automated voice message to the area that we're flushing. And the customers, if they have an email on file, will also get an email. It seems like there was a little bit of, I think a little bit of an area was missed. So we sent out 2 today. So that has been corrected, but there may have been a couple people that received 2 notifications. The well is up and running, well 3 is up and running, so that means that's why we could start flushing. We held off for a little bit. I think a while back I gave you guys an update that we were gonna start flushing, but we had to hold off till that was fixed. Now that we started flushing, it's typically about a 3-week time span to get through the entire village. That's with 1 person. We have 2 right now that will be flushing Peatone. We're gonna try to finish in a 10-day time frame so that we can start painting the water tower. Okay, so that's not like a promised date because the weather will factor into that. But I can keep everybody updated on that. If it gets, too hot or if it rains or whatever, that'll be postponed a little bit. But that's the tentative timeline right now.
So do you guys send a notice or put a tag on everybody's door, or?
For flushing?
Yeah, for flushing.
Yeah, so it's a notice. Everybody should be signed up when switched to Aqua. Everybody should have signed up for what we call a Swift Reach or a smart notice. So it goes to any cell phone on the account will have an automated message and then an email. And I'm also gonna work to get it on the Facebook page. So tomorrow, I don't know if you have the one from today on there, but tomorrow I'll send you that. Okay, I can send you that email and it'll have the areas that's gonna be flushed. And then when we move to, it's divided into I think 3 sections. I think Peatone's 3 sections. I'll notify you ahead of time to post for that second section. And if there's any other way that would help notify customers, if there's another, website or I can email you guys directly, if that would help anything, I can do that as well.
Some people don't have smartphones or computers.
Okay,
And so do you guys do tags at all on the door or no?
we don't do the tags any
Okay.
longer.
So.
Yeah,
you know, I guess use this opportunity that people watch the board meeting, that the flushing isn't occurring. It was interesting that you included in there that the water might be rusty for a little while and not wash your clothes until that clears.
Yeah,
And open up an outside spigot.
it's rare that that happens, but we do
Yeah.
have to say it because in the rare instance that it happens.
Yeah.
So, you might notice a little bit of the pressure would probably be the most common. You might notice a little decrease in pressure, but otherwise, like the discoloration, probably not. But I can tell you that the entire village our goal is to have the entire village done in 10 business days, and with the exception of the holiday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you could also mention about the aerators on the water faucets. A lot of people don't have a clue what that is.
Yeah, to take the aerators off.
No, I mean, they don't even know what an aerator is.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Some people don't.
Yeah, so I mean, just for the if public are watching, you know, they also said they suggest taking the aerators off your faucets, which are just the little thing underneath that you unscrew and rinse that off, make sure it's all cleaned off and put it back in, so.
Yeah, which again, that's just if anything is like, sometimes people do that just occasionally anyways, even if it has nothing to do with the flushing. Sometimes people clean their aerators like once a year.
I know there's been a lot of complaints about the water pressure being low. Not just now, but in the past as well.
Yeah, I've heard in certain areas there's.
Was that affected by well 3 being down?
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah, depending on where you live in relation to Will 3.
Any questions from the board?
I have a question.
Sure.
It really kills me when we put in a new street and then within 6 months they're digging up whatever. And they fill it with gravel and then they patch it. And a year later, it's sunk. And we're back in the same boat we were for the last umpteen years with rough roads and all this stuff. Now we're gonna be paving 3 streets here this summer. Are you guys coordinating with our public works people to know
Yep.
what we're going and any potential digging, get that out of the way prior to our road work?
Yeah, what I can do is and I would suggest this, like, that we do get together maybe and meet at least once a year, kind of talk through any plans that will be happening, and if we have any planned work that we're doing. Unfortunately, if it's a main break after a shoot's, you know, that's something that's that's out of our control. But if there's any planned work that we have, or like capital spend, it would just be good to go over with you once a year
Most of
anyways.
these are in front of homes. And Bob, have you coordinated with them at all to where we're gonna pave and so they can?
The only issue we'll have this summer is maybe the area of Penny Lane. Everything else is newer main. Garfield's new, Mill Street's new. I'm not saying the main can't break there. I mean, anything, a new main can break in a week. But the only area of concern I have is Penny Lane. Garfield Mill, that's relatively new main. There shouldn't be issues there, so.
Is that the main one they're digging in front of the home?
Those are services. They're doing, you know, the lead service line
A
replacement.
lot of time the calcium built up in the service B-box. You either the B-box or the corp of the main, then you gotta dig it up to the main and replace it.
Can that be identified and taken care of prior to our paving the street?
If there's any on Penny Lane, I don't think that this project could have been, because when we moved forward with this project, I notified you guys and that's when we moved forward with it. And we didn't know which were gonna be short or which were gonna be long services. But I mean, we can definitely connect. I don't know if you're repaving the whole road.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can reach out to you tomorrow. We can
Okay.
go over that. And then we can schedule something, you know, for next year's planned projects as well. Yeah.
It really gets me just when I see the backhoe out there.
Yeah.
Digging up a new street, it's like,
Yeah,
what a
and
waste.
it's to both parties' benefits for us to kind of work together on that. It just so happens that a lot of times it's unfortunate the way that works out, that, you know, if it's a new road and then there's a main break. But we would always try to work with the village or municipality on any work we have, always, because that's not good for us, it's not good for you. So anytime that we can collaborate like that, that is our goal. Yeah. Yeah. We want the least amount of disruption to the customers as possible, and that's the best route to take anyways with money, manpower, everything, so.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thanks, Angie.
All right, and I'll keep you updated on the water tower,
Okay,
all right?
Thank
Thanks. Let
you.
me know if you have any other questions, and then I'll be in touch with you, Marty. All right, thank you.
all right, going on to committee reports, we had a downtown ad hoc committee. Trustee Marevka, anything to report?
We did talk about the small area on Second Street to maybe update it and make it look a little bit nicer, for the time being, while we are waiting for hopefully somebody to be interested and get it sold. We talked about putting cheaper things in there, like a fence to block the alleyway so kids don't go running back there, and for looks wise. We also talked about doing a mural on one of the brick building on the north side of it, and also possibly on the other side of the alleyway, to draw in maybe some people who like to do selfies, you know, another place to stop and have people come in and do all their selfie things. We did talk about a walkway, the same brick that we were gonna use, or that we planned on possibly using for the downtown area. And it was, instead of doing an entire brick walkway, we would maybe do brick outline with either pea gravel or concrete, something cheaper, if we could do something a little bit cheaper than that. We do know that this is not possible permanent structures, so everything that we would plan on using, like the benches or the garbage cans or the bushes, or even if we do any kind of trees, they will be able to be taken out and used somewhere else. Also too, we did talk about putting a pet waste station somewhere over there, like in the corner, because I know that the pet groomer across the street has people go over there to use that area, and they're not cleaning up after their pets, they're just leaving poops there. So we were talking about putting a waste station there for that. And what else? Oh, and we did talk about street directional signs, maybe to put out on Route 50. So like if you go through Mantino or Frankfurt or New Lenox, they have like real nice signs that can be changed out. And we did talk about looking into the possibility of having businesses pay for their, like an ad like we would in the newspaper, so it would not cost us anything, if anything. And I think that's about it.
The only other thing was streetlights.
Oh, the streetlights, yes. So we did talk about the streetlights in the back parking area of Railroad Street. And we chose to do the 5 streetlights instead of 4 because of safety issues. And it would just give more light back there behind the bars. Is that it? Is that all right?
So,
Okay.
all right. Administrator report?
I just had a few things I wanted to update the board on. We had some interest from another gaming cafe. So I know we had a kind of expanded gaming, video gaming in town. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Staff's just reviewing a proposal, and I'll keep you guys posted and bring anything that's comes to be more solid of a proposal. And we had some inquiries for the medical facility that's been vacant out there on Route 50. So I'm just hoping that, you know, we'll get something in there soon. But it was gonna be like an urgent care type place. And then for the trustees, I don't need a timesheet from you guys for regular meetings, just special meetings. So just FYI, I'll save you some paperwork. That's all.
Okay. Engineering?
Sure, a few updates on a couple of the projects that are going on. The Wilmington Road sidewalk project, the signs have finally come in that we've been waiting for. So we're just working out a time for them to get them installed. They had to call in a Julie, and then also get the crosswalks put in before the sidewalk gets officially open. So once I hear a date on that, I'll let you know. And then the Alborn storm sewer project, all the storm sewers in the ground now, which is good news because there were a lot of utilities, potential conflicts. They made some adjustments in the field, but kind of avoided any major conflicts. I heard they worked on concrete restoration, and they're gonna do patching, milling, and paving hopefully this week to get the road kind of back in order. And then they'll just restoration will remain.
I do have a question. At the last meeting, I know you were on the phone and I know you've been busy, but did you have any chance to look into the striping or the lines to be able to put on Oriole Drive out there?
I did, yes. In a situation like this, they're typically not staggered. That's normally for turning movements for trucks, but because it's a wide area, you don't really need to stagger them, it's just how far back we want to put them. And we could put them closer. I think we talked for sight distance, so I know it's something I kind of give a little markup to Mayor and Bob that we could look into getting stop bars and then a couple lines for a turn lane stripe there.
Thank you.
So you said that possibly doing the MFT project, the street project, you can get that done at the same time,
I
right?
think it would be less expensive to do that project than the Wilmington
Yeah.
sidewalk project based on that.
Okay.
So we'll talk to them about that.
Okay. Any other questions for engineer? All right. Chief, anything to report?
Just reminded people that, I know it'd be hard to imagine somebody be lighting off fireworks this 4th. So, all the Facebook posts of why they want to do it won't do them any good if we catch them.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. We did some village sticker enforcement on the streets and parking lots of the apartments, so people that had already purchased them but failed to get them on the vehicle, those tickets were resolved. And we still have a few hundred more people that are kind of MIA on that. And
So if you don't have your village sticker, come in and get one. It's better
before
to
you,
get the
yeah,
ticket.
and if you have it in your glove box but forgot to put it on there, it helps if you put it up
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
We can't break into your car like everybody check your mail, glove box. But that's about it, sir.
Okay, thank you. Public
Does-
Works?
Does it tie in with your car registration
No.
or there's
No,
So if
December
you-
15th, it has to be on the
If
vehicle.
you buy one and don't have it displayed, there's nothing that says when the officer pulls up your plate or looks. It
The
says
plate
you want
doesn't
sticker.
tell us anything about the vehicle sticker other than your state.
And is it constitutional or unconstitutional?
It's
I know there were
not a
a few people
constitutional
up there and I
issue.
don't see anybody.
Yeah, has nothing to do with
Again, everybody
Constitution.
at home, you wanna complain, come to a meeting.
Has nothing to do with Constitution, it's an ordinance.
All right, Public Works?
Sure. I'm gonna piggyback on a few of Troy's items. I know Troy mentioned paving of Allhorn this week. I was told tomorrow they'll start paving. That is complete, that project. Like Troy said, there was a couple hiccups along the way, but other than that, it went smooth. So that should improve that area.
What kind of hiccups,
What's that?
What kind of hiccups?
Sewer that they didn't know was there, sanitary, they hit. A couple water lines that were mismarked by USIC. Just little ones, nothing, crazy. So that's part of the deal when you do projects, the unknown. So Wilmington Road sidewalk. I know Troy mentioned me and the RE from Robinson will have there's a few punch list items that I'm going to put together on that project that still need to be addressed. So I'll get that put together and issued to the contractor. The department's been trying to, I think we've done well to do summer help. Personally, we have Chris keeping these trees and flowers alive because there's been much rain. So he's doing pretty good at it. So we're keeping up on that. We'll be out tree trimming in various areas of the village. There's some trees I want to mention that aren't in the parkway that are almost touching the roadway. So I'll say it now, if you want to get those trimmed, trim them. If not, we'll trim them for you. So
Are you trimming around the sidewalks and stuff too?
signs.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, so, be doing that. In the next week or so, we'll also be doing curb spray. Just so everybody knows, it's Roundup, nothing out of the ordinary. We just spray Roundup in the curb, so if you see us out, that's what that is.
So when, when you do the trees in the parkway, is it just the trees that we've planted that you're trimming up? Or, okay, because there's a lot of like nice looking trees, but the branches are so low, and they're growing so low, they're not on the
They're heavy.
sidewalk yet.
Very
Yeah.
heavy right
They're gonna break the trees.
Can we get something in the newspaper about, I think it's what, 13 feet over the curb on the street and 7 feet over the sidewalk?
I think it's 13.8, I believe.
13 and 8?
13 on the street side, 8 on the sidewalk side, yes.
Maybe we can verify that and put it in the paper so people put it on the computer.
But we try to, when we do trim, I try not to do the 13.8. I try to shape the tree so you're not having this up here and, you know what I mean? Kind of make them look presentable, not so, you know. Comment shop, yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Anyway, that's all I have.
I just wanted to say, you guys are doing a great job with flowers and keeping those trees watered. I know the board appreciates that. And we really appreciate the work you guys did at the block party. It turned out really nice, and cleanup went well on Sunday, so appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we do not have a treasurer's report. On to my comments, just to kind of continue with the block party. I thought it was a great event. I think the chamber, so Trustee Sluice did a great job with that. You know, it's a great event for the town, and a lot of people out there are saying how nice the downtown looked, and I appreciate the work that the chamber and you did specifically. Thank you. The Illinois Municipal League Conference is coming up in September. Trustees, I encourage you to attend that, whether for the full 2.5 days or just even one day. That's up at the Chicago Hilton. I know Trustee Jones has gone quite a few times and really enjoyed it. It's just a great way to connect with other municipalities and trustees, and you know, find out that everybody kind of has the same issues, and you know, sometimes you get some decent ideas from other people. So I encourage you, if you can make that. Do you have the dates of that? Is it the 15th through the 17th of September, something like that? So if you do want to attend, let the administrator know. Go and get you registered. And the last thing, as you can see with the machines around here, tomorrow is the primary day. I would encourage you to get out and vote, even if you don't vote in party primary. There is an important question on the ballot about the fire protection district consolidation. So I encourage you to educate yourself on that and get out and vote. Going on to, we don't have any old business, a new business. Approve recommendation of Robinson Engineering for invoice number 1 dated 6/9/2022, payment to M&J Underground for work completed on Wilmington Road sidewalk project. Payout 1 is initial for the amount of $79,573.27.
Motion.
Second.
Been moved by Trustee Maravka, second by Trustee Sturba.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Sluice?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
And Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item B, approve Robinson Engineering recommendation to award low bid MFT resurfacing project for Mill Street, Garfield Avenue, and Penny Lane, contract to Iroquois Paving Corporation, amount of $298,647.10. So, Troy, if you want to maybe say a few words. I think, you know, his email was included in the packet about, but go ahead and just kind of go over that.
Sure. So prices came in a little higher than expected, which is unfortunately very normal right now. Even when we bumped up our estimated unit costs, they still came in higher. It's kind of just the nature of the environment right now. So kind of what was budgeted in the MFT forms and the village budget for this project was $270,000. The low bid came in at $298,000 approximately. So your options are award the project and figure out some sort of portions of the streets to cut, which is kind of tough in this situation because then you're kind of cutting off a street instead of finishing a street to try to get down to the budget amount. Or you could award it and just do it all and you go over your budget for this, for MFT funds, which I believe you have more in your MFT account. I don't know exactly what's in there, but then we would just need to talk to IDOT and do a supplemental resolution and just get it approved if you want to get all 3 streets completed. And then your last option is don't award it and, you know, kind of scrap it and wait till next year, you know, but when prices are lower possibly, but, so those are your options.
I have a question. Mill Street, will that be from Joliet Road to
No, it's just Corning to Garfield.
Corning to Garfield?
Yeah. And they were also gonna try to mitigate that bump on Blaine and Mill Street there too.
Good.
The best we can. It's not gonna be perfect because it needs to convey the water, but I think we can make it better.
It couldn't be much further from perfect right now. I mean, it's horrendous.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by trustee Jones, second by trustee Hudson.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Jones,
Yes.
trustee Hudson.
Yes.
Trustee Maravka,
Yes, as long as you can fix that Wayne Street.
trustee Sluse,
Yes.
trustee Hudson,
No, you already did it.
and trustee Bowden,
Yes.
Trustee Sturba.
and trustee Sturba.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Moving on to item C, approve authorization of up to $25,000 of business development district funds to create the pocket park on Second on the village-owned lot on Second Street. So you already heard the report from the downtown committee. You've got some information on estimates for what we've all talked about. We've talked about doing a little pathway, some trees and shrubs, a couple benches, a fence in the back, some planters, bike rack, pet disposal station, a swing that's being built by the Department of Public Works, and trash can. So, any discussion?
The swing that you want to put work to, are they gonna, you gotta order it and then they put it up, or?
I'm gonna have them, I showed them kind of an example, and they assured me that they could duplicate it.
Yeah, 'cause I know like certain parks, like in Beechwood, they have a park district, we had to put parks in, and everything had to hit a certain standard.
Okay.
Like swings and all that stuff, we couldn't just build a park,
Okay.
and stuff like that.
We'll make sure that it's up to any standards.
What's the time frame?
I mean, Warner Landscaping, he wants to get done. He asked me when our next event was, I said it was the car show at the end of July, and he says, oh, like, he wants to get it done by then, at least his portion of it, so. But,
Is there anybody at all interested in the property?
you know, the restaurant next door has expressed some interest in eventually expanding. They're not ready to go with that, I just talked to them about it. But that's been the only interest that I've
They
heard.
didn't say like a next year or?
No.
They dumped a ton of money into their building in the last 12 months.
We talked this at the Public Works meeting, didn't we? We talked about this at the Public Works meeting at the lot, didn't we? Like we were talking about, you guys were saying interest in putting like an awning up and a couple benches and stuff. I just see it as being a park, like the park district, since we have a park district, you'd think the park district would be more their alley than us. And a lot of that stuff, I mean, yeah, you can take it out and move it, but, I mean, if you're going to sell it, I would rather just see it get sold than just have something, you know, put a bunch of stuff there and then tear it out.
Could we possibly maybe, I know we wanna get it done and we want it to look nice for this, but maybe can we table it for, have another meeting and just see what if we could do something a little bit cheaper way? Especially if, like you said, if we're gonna be selling it and I mean, I know a lot of this stuff we can reuse, so that part of it, I know that, and it would look really, really nice, but if there's a way to do it a little bit cheaper, maybe we can do it a little bit cheaper.
I'm just saying from experience, like tearing out benches and stuff, it doesn't go as nice as everyone thinks it does. Like you gotta dig up all the concrete and everything, and then you don't know what you're gonna find. And it gets pretty, yeah.
So, those downtown businesses have started to really put some money into their businesses. The Corner Cafe just added that outdoor patio, they added that nice awning. You know, the coffee shop is there. You know, the lady who owns the dog grooming place, she's very interested in the possibilities over there. She gave us some good ideas to add some dog-friendly features to it and stuff. I mean, we created the business development district to be able to invest in the downtown area so it would become an attraction and people would come here. So I'm very comfortable spending the money because the money's there. The development district has over $300,000 in it for exactly these kind of projects. Do I think anybody's gonna buy that land and put a $500,000 building up there? No. There are 3 or 4 empty buildings on this area as it is right now. I'd rather fill those up and have something that is attractive to bring people down here than hope that somebody will buy that building. I mean, it's like I said, I'm very comfortable spending this money.
If that's the case, I just say if you wanna do it there rather than give it to the park district.
But
We have a
it's-
park district. It's a park.
But can the
But
park
it's
district
not
afford
their
to fix it
land.
up? And, I mean, would they be willing, I know they don't have a lot of people working there as it is. I mean, would they be willing to have another spot to take care of it?
I don't think they would take care of it nearly as well as we would. You know, no detail, I might have cut the grass, but then we just had a vacant lot.
I mean, that's the thing again too. I mean, for Public Works, you have 3, 4 full-timers, a part-timer, now you're gonna add a park for them to take care of.
Bob, what do you think? Can you handle it?
I need to comment on that?
Yeah, be truthful. No.
Depends what it is, you know, depends,
Put a
how
couple
big.
picnic tables out there, it'd take no time to mow it. And put all this stuff, use some mow around, weed whack around and everything like that.
Yeah.
It'd take time.
A person could cut that lot with a push mower and a mower.
Are you volunteering?
If I had to, I would, yes. No, I'm with Pat. I mean, you hear people talk about the downtown over the years. Oh, it's nothing but a bunch of bars and a couple of ramshackle buildings. And people have been making more investment in the downtown buildings in the last year than they've made in the last 40.
Yeah.
Major investment.
Well, I'm not denying that.
And this would just be another addition to that. And it gives you kind of an umbrella effect of what's happening. I mean, it's an improvement. It's just not deterioration in a couple of bars. It's, they would refer to that as the bell cow effect. And I think people would, I think the silent majority would really appreciate it.
I know I said in like the Public Works meeting, when we had it a couple months ago, I said just put a couple picnic tables out there. I mean, that would be helpful enough, and you're not putting no money into
But
it.
that's your mindset. Let's throw a couple of picnic tables out there and call it good.
People can still be there.
This looks professional. This is like something they would do in Mantino or Frankfurt, not Sauk Village or Shebang.
They'd put that park in if they owned it.
But if you
We
have
own
just
it.
a few tables sitting out there, it does kind of look trashy, and you still have the people that are walking their pets and still not picking up their animal waste, even though, as we all know, I always say that in the newspaper, please pick up your animal waste, because it's my biggest annoyance. But I think if it looked maybe nice and gave people somewhere just to stop on their walks, or when they're going up to get ice cream or coffee, and they just have a nice place to maybe sit down. Like you said, I think it's gonna be a snowball effect if everybody can see how nice it will be, but we could still remove stuff and use it in the future if we had to elsewhere.
When anybody decides to buy the land and build a
Yeah.
$500,000 building.
Yeah, and if it looks trashy now, I mean, nobody's gonna buy anything down there.
Yeah, but they might open up some of the vacant storefronts because they'll look and say, hey,
This looks kinda
the,
nice.
the,
I
the
would
village
like
now
everybody-
is starting to spend their own money to make the village look better. Maybe I'll buy that building, maybe I'll renovate it, and I'll add something to it, because the villages are now back investing in itself, as opposed to, it's an abandoned piece of property, and, I mean, at least it's no longer an eyesore building that was almost ready
Because
to
there's
fall
so
down.
many people that just say, you know, they used to go downtown and just, it was so beautiful and so nice and it's just so run down and these people don't live here anymore and they come to visit family and they're saddened by what they're seeing. These buildings are just falling apart and it's like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, so.
And again, how many times do we hear, how come we don't look like Mantino? We don't look like Mantino because we haven't spent a dime in this town for the 30 years I've lived here. So if we want to look like Mantino, we got to start spending some money. And we've figured out a way to pay it with the business development district that has plenty of money in it to do these types of projects. And we're gonna build one. I hope we're gonna build one, and then we'll see what happens. We may be wrong. Maybe nobody opens up businesses in those empty buildings, or maybe they do. I have no idea. But if we don't try, they definitely
will not.
And the chances, like you said, somebody buying that lot and spending that kind of money, that lot on the corner of North and Second Street, right on the corner, was for sale for 25 years. And, I mean, that would be considered prime lot. I mean, that's,
right.
Isn't Judy's share plan for sale? Isn't Judy's for sale?
For sale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's, I think, I see someone buying that, turn the rest of it, turning that whole place into a big beer garden.
Jim,
You
I
put
have
the
a
door out the
question.
side.
Since trustee Jones and trustee Hudson own property in the business development district, and I do too, but we don't have to recuse ourselves from this, right?
For,
That's not TIF
This-
funds. Right,
it's not a TIF, it's a business district.
right.
No, I don't believe you do.
Yeah, that's what I was told in the past, so, okay. All right, any other discussion, or is there anybody who wants to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the lot.
I'll second it.
Been moved by trustee Bowden, second by trustee Jones.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Bowden,
Yes.
trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Sluse.
Yes.
Trustee Maravka,
Yes.
trustee Hudson,
Yes.
and trustee Sturba.
No.
All right, moving on, questions of the press?
I have one question. You said that MFT, if you go ahead and you move forward and it's $298, didn't you say the additional funds, there's additional funds in the MFT
Right,
account? So that wouldn't come out of anything else?
correct.
Okay, so that would just come out of the MFT line.
Yeah, we have, I think over 600,000 in the MFT funds. I mean,
Okay.
we're trying to save a little bit of that money for the eventual resurfacing of Southwest Street, which is a federal project, but that's not gonna happen for quite a few years, unfortunately.
Okay, that was my only question. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board?
The only comment I have, and one for the paper, just a reminder that if you're putting out American flags on your front porch or on a pole or anything, please have them lighted at night. I don't know if it's necessarily a law, but
Part of
growing
the
up,
flag code.
right, it's, yeah. Growing up, you always have a light on the American flag, so just a reminder.
All right,
That's all.
if nothing else, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Moved by trustee Maravka, second by trustee Sturba.
Alright, roll call vote, trustee Maravka,
Yes.
trustee Sturba,
Yes.
trustee Sluse.
Yes.
Trustee Hudson,
Yes.
trustee Jones.
Yes.
And trustee Bowden.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Now that the meeting's over, I'm gonna ask you just a quick question, just for a point of clarification. By putting a pocket park in there, in that lot, does that have to be rezoned, or is that an allowed use of the B1 district?
If zone B,
B1.
B1, yeah, it would be a public, be like open land, it'd be like a public land,
So
so
it doesn't-
I'm sure it would be allowed in a B district.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For that.
Right, so, yeah, I won't. Listen, I won't, yeah, I will when it gets
Because if we did, then we'd be getting into all kinds of trouble. I mean, because once you declare on it's that's why the, just, you don't do that either, because at that point, you'd be taking that out. There's all kinds of rules. You couldn't sell it then. And not only that, that means that anybody can go in it, and use it, except for the hours. So I was just wondering, how the pocket park.
Yeah, it's just a planner's term, you know.
Yeah, in other words, it's just our lot, but we're making that.
Minor things like.
So,
But if you think about it more, you run across something, let us know.
I don't, well, I don't, we would have to take some action to make it a park. Whether that would be an ordinance.
Higher than the road. So that's kind of when I started. Water
No, this happened with
So that's the issue.
So just.
We're all solar.
Why are they upset about Bill buying the tractor? No, no.
We just have a different outlook on how many years ago when that was in.
So historical.
Oh, yeah, but I mean. Well, but I mean,
For the rough, yeah, couple.
$5,000 for
Yeah.
a lot.
Thank you, I was calling.
No, I'm sorry, it was worth it, in my opinion.
Not a major thing.
Take care of yourself. And I can't just do
It's really not rezoned at all. It's
Just
neat
put
to read.
I mean, if I could, I know if I could, I'd make it no smoking, but I don't think legally we could do that. You know, that's the right thing I'm afraid of is being the smoking part.
Then
We just put a
zone
couple
it
benches
public
up there,
land.
and it's nice, and if we don't
You
do
know,
a
PL
smoking
designation,
or
or
a
park.
But they don't want it like that for
Well, no, they want to sell it, that's what I'm getting, so it's gonna be sold and then be one parcel.
We'll see ya, yep.
It's just
Good night.
Talk to you tomorrow.
It's basically just fixing up a parcel.
Yeah.
Just making,
Now you just gotta.
just making your lot look nice. Okay, see you later.
If there's anybody at all interested in buying it, you know?
Right, yeah,
You know, soon.
right.
You know, then something like this, you could say, okay,
Now I've
let's
got
put
a
it
new
off, see if they'll buy it.
travel
You can
bag.
always do this in the spring.
Yeah.
It's got a top on it,
That's
so
right.
I
You're
won't
right, you
spoil
gotta-
my
That's right.
property, you know.
For everything else, you
I
know?
have to send Aqua, thank you.
All right. See you later.